Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Welcome to another impactful edition of MYSD Spectrum. Today we are going to be shining our light on the often unsung heroes of society. Yes, these people doing their bit to make sure the vulnerable and the elderly are well taken care of. We're exploring the vital work of the Correctional and Elderly Care Services Unit, of course, under the Social Welfare Department of the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. These people, this team, they selflessly care for the most vulnerable amongst us, from providing shelter and protection to orphans and vulnerable children at the 6 correctional centers across the state, to offering love and care to our senior citizens at the old people's home. We're going to be uncovering remarkable stories and initiatives that make a real difference. So I just need you wherever you are, if you're driving your car, sitting in the office, or perhaps you're somewhere just tuned to this frequency. Just sit back, relax as we delve into the heart of social welfare and discover the ways that we can all make a positive impact in the lives of others. One more time, I want to say welcome to MYSD Spectrum. My name is Akan Usen. Of course, as the program progresses, we will be giving you traffic feeds. Yes, of course, that is our forte, letting you know how things are looking like in and around the different nooks and crannies of the state. Yes, trust that we have got you covered wherever you are headed. I have feeds coming in from the Okeodo axis, where the area is still looking quite calm within the entire length of the breadth of the zone. Of course, we know return journey influx is still a thing to be expected, so we need to factor that. So as the day progresses, it might get busier, but at this time, no impediment, and traffic managers very much on ground, to receive the evening rush. And I have a video here showing me the Ilebo area, still looking quite calm and, just quite okay. I have a view of the let's see, okay, the Agege Pence in my end, but this is the stretch inwards, the Nitel end. It's still looking quite good inwards and outwards, but of course I can see the activities of tricycle riders blocking about 50% of the road, more or less, and I see that we have a few traffic managers doing their bit to make sure they manage things, but by and large at this time it's still quite fair, still quite fine, not as busy, not so busy, just looking really good. As the day progresses, so definitely expect it will get busier, but trust that we'll always give you the updates as things happen. All right, back to MYSD Spectrum. Of course, I told you we're talking about the Correctional and Elderly Care Services. Last week it was all about the creches and the orphanages, and today we are switching attention to the Correctional and Elderly Care Services. Of course, we have 3 very special guests who will be helping us, shine light on this very important unit of that department, the Social Welfare Department, right there in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. First, from my right, okay, from my left actually, but her right, we have Mrs. Agnes Feishayo Olaore. She's the Deputy Director, Correctional and Elderly Care Services. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show. And just beside her, yes, we have Mr. Bashiru. Okay, no, so let's just so he's special because he's the man between two women. So let's just introduce Mrs. Fumilayo Adekola. She is Deputy Director, Social Welfare and Manager, Old People's Home, Sabo Yaba. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
So great to have you with us. And the very special man between two ladies, two beautiful ladies. We have Mr. Bashiru Oluwa Jamija. Oluwagbejamija. Bejami. Take my fight my fight. Okay, very special name. But of course, we just, Mr. Bashiru Iyapo, Assistant Director and Principal of Special Correctional Center for Boys, Oregon. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so now, we're going to just go straight into the heart of the matter. But I was starting with you, Mrs. Olaore. Can we talk about the mandate of this unit? What exactly is this unit all about? What's your purview? What's your area of coverage? And what are your responsibilities? Let's talk about that.
Okay. Very glad to be on the show this evening.
I'm also glad to have you on the show with us.
Correctional and Elderly Care Services. It's a unit under the Social Welfare Department in the Ministry of Youth and Social Development. And we see to the smooth running and operation of the institutions that we have in the department. We have about seven homes or seven centers.
Seven centers, okay.
And our mandate is to offer care, protection, shelter. We offer social. We offer psychosocial therapy to all the children and the older persons under our care.
Okay, for the purposes of us that we're not in that field, we don't really know what when you say psychosocial,
psychotherapy.
What does that mean?
In essence, it means counseling.
Counseling, okay,
it means counseling. To all our clients or all the children under our care and the older persons under our care. And I like to mention the 7 centers that we have under the unit.
Yes.
The first one is the Children's Center.
At
Idiaraba.
All right.
The center caters for children that are within the age range of 6 and 10.
6 and 10, okay.
Male and female.
Okay.
We offer shelter, care and protection for them. And that center is situated at Idiaraba.
Okay.
The second one is the Children Correctional Center for Girls. It's also situated at Idiaraba. It offers care, protection, shelter for girls that are within the age of 18 and 18. Within the age range of 10 and 18.
10 and 18, okay.
We offer formal and informal education. They go through vocation. Those that can't read and write, they go through vocations. Even those that go to school, they still go through vocation.
Training,
so they learn one form of vocation or the other, so that they can be self-sustainers by the time they leave the center. We also have another center called Children Correctional Center for Junior Boys. It is situated at Burial Avenue at Yaba, Sabu Yaba. And that center caters for boys that are within the age range of 10 and 18. We also offer shelter. We offer care, protection, counseling, support for these boys that are in that center. We have a special correctional center for boys, which is situated at Oregun. We have special correctional center for girls, situated at Idiaraba. Then we have the correctional center for senior boys now. So from Burial, we have junior boys at Burial. From Burial to the senior center at Isheri from age 15 to 18. But sometimes we have them staying more than that age. Some we have 20, 21.
Adekola, I see that you are the manager right there. Let's talk a bit about the old people's home. Let's talk about elderly care. How do you go about this? How do you get people into your institution? What exactly is it all about?
Basically, like Ms. Olare said,
yes,
we admit older adults from 60 years and above. But all the older adults in the home, there's a procedure. If anybody wants to come, they have to be a letter, a mail written to the permanent secretary, Ministry of Youth and Social Development, Block 18 Alausa, stating the reason why they want the older adult to be admitted. So upon reception of the mail, it's minuted to us, and a social worker from the home will go and assess the status of the older adult, if the older adult can be admitted into the home. We have basically 2 types of admissions. We have those that were brought by their family or relations. Then we have those that are indigent.
Okay.
Those that were bought by their families, they pay a highly subsidized amount.
Okay.
And admission is irrespective of gender or ethnic group. We admit.
Sorry, the payment you spoke about, is it yearly? Is it monthly?
It's monthly.
Monthly, but it's highly subsidized.
Highly subsidized.
Okay.
Then after the assessment, if the older adult pass, the assessment process, we admit the older adults.
Can you let us in on what the assessment, what exactly will you check for?
We check for their age status.
Okay.
There are some that we cannot based on their age status. Then also ensure that there's some, because basically we have, even those that have families,
yes,
most times once they bring the older adults, they just they neglect, they abscond. So and the burden on the government is enormous, coupled with the fact that we have destitute and indigents that the government caters for. So once they bring them, we make sure that they do medical assessments to see if they can be admitted. Then there are some things to do for the family, just to make sure that they come visit the older adults, when they are admitted. Because if we don't put such a process in place, they tend to neglect the older adults once they are in the home. And it affects them, psychologically. We've seen cases whereby when they bring the older adults, they don't come back, and we have to keep calling, to make sure that they come back to check on the older adults. And there are some that really care for the older adults. Also, with this recent the JAPA syndrome, we have to keep calling to ensure that they come. And basically why they bring, some of the reason why those that bring their older adults to the center, to the home, because we have issues of ageism, stereotyping, abuse of the older adults. So to prevent such, they bring them to the home where we care for them.
Okay, so a bit of education. Now, you spoke about abuse, ageism and all that. Could you tell us a bit about that? What exactly is that all about?
Ageism is a stereotype belief. Like we have in there are some cultures that believe that once you are old, you either they tag them as a witch. We have issues of dementia. That and once there are some symptoms of dementia that when people see they say things that is contrary, that if you don't have that expertise or that professionalism that that this person has dementia, you tag that person as a witch. Then also for I talked about ageism and abuse. The abuse, the elders are vulnerable. Apart from children, the elders are abused. Even there's statistics all over the world that elders are abused. So to prevent that, and there are different type of abuse. There are some of them don't give them food. Some don't, they don't take care of them. They are health-wise. For example, somebody who have dementias, they need proper care, because there are some of them they have urine inconsistencies. They urinate on themselves. So you have to make sure that you educate, the children when they bring them. That it's not as if they have witchcraft or something, but it is because they have some health issues which is not visible, to them.
All right. Okay, so I will be coming back to that. There was a word you mentioned. You mentioned vulnerable. Now, the question that it comes around a lot. So I'll be just addressing Mr. Yapo. Now, who is vulnerable? Who would you say is vulnerable? Because in the country now, I don't know. With the way things are, I will not say, I will not all vulnerable. So who qualifies to be termed as vulnerable?
Well, globally, children and women are majorly they are exposed to vulnerability.
Okay, please come close to the microphone. Thank you.
All over the world, you will observe that children generally are vulnerable.
Okay.
You now come to think of it, a lot of these other children, you see them on the street.
Yes.
You see them virtually in open places. They can't take care of themselves. They can't think for themselves. Probably they are orphaned. They are, their parents lost their means of livelihood, and they find themselves being on the street. these are vulnerable people. So there's a government, as a government,
yes,
we have to ensure that these kind of people are protected by law, and we have suitable accommodation for virtually this category of people. In the cases like Mrs. Adekola mentioned,
yes,
even women too are vulnerable due to ill health and some other factors.
Okay.
So for children, if you go to our centers, we'll say that a number of them they are mostly better off even within our facilities than being on the street. Even some of them, they are even better. You see that they, like the orphans.
Yes.
You see them all around. They are even staying with people, but the people they are staying with cannot even fend for themselves. Talk less of fending for other people's children.
Extra mouth.
So governments, people they approach the government, and as a government, we have to respond to such requests and give them shelter, give them medicals, and as the case may be, they also go to school.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I see that when we're talking about the centers, Mrs. Olaore, I will be addressing this to you. When we're talking about the centers, I see there was you called some children correctional center, and then some were termed as special correctional center. Could you educate us about that? Why is one special correctional, why is a children correctional, and then the other one is called just a children's center? Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, we have two special correctional centers.
Yeah, okay. The one for the boys and the girls.
One for the boys and one for the girls.
Yes.
What makes them special is the kind of children that we have that are admitted into the centers.
Okay.
And I like to say that the special correctional centers, we admit children that are in conflict with the law. That's what makes them special.
Okay.
Other centers, we have the vulnerable children, the orphans, children that are in need of, children that are lost and found.
Okay. So
yes, they are not mixed up.
Okay.
For special correctional center, we have children that are beyond parental control and children that are in conflict with the law. When I say in conflict with the law, I
know we're discussing about this.
Yes, I will explain what I mean by children that are in conflict with the law. We used to call them child offenders.
Child offenders, okay.
And when we say child offenders, we are referring to children that are involved in robbery, children that are involved in different kinds of crimes.
Yes.
I've even said some children are involved in murder, some manslaughter, some abuse, some rape, different kinds of crimes. We have children that are involved in such. So those are the children that are admitted through the courts.
Okay.
Not that a police will just get a child that has offended and you bring them to the center and such children are admitted. No. We have a procedure.
So what's the process like?
The process is, for child offender, they are taken to court. Maybe a police has apprehended a child.
Yes.
Such a child can be in the custody of the police for nothing less than 72 hours. That's what the child rights law stipulates. 72 hours.
Right.
A child must not be in the police custody more than 72 hours. So within that hours, such a child will be taken to the family court. So it is the family court, through investigation, the police investigating officer will have to submit his report. Once such a child is found to have committed such an offense, such a child will be taken into the custody of special correctional center through a court order, a corrective order for such a child to be in such home. But for other correctional centers, children that are maybe lost and found, children that are lost and found, the orphans, the vulnerables, they are in the other center and they are undergoing the process of being reintegration and re-socializing back into the society.
Reintegration.
Reintegration. And maybe they are lost and found the children. We need to carry out what we call home tracing. After tracing them, we transfer them we reintegrate them back into the society, into their families.
Yes.
If we have to transfer them back to other states, we do that through the licensing office.
Okay.
For example, a lost and found boy will be taken from another state.
Yes, you have to reach out.
We have to go to the we are not necessarily going to go to that state.
Yes.
We do that through the licensing office.
Okay.
For example, a child that is we discover is from
Osun State.
From Osun State.
Yeah.
Then we go to the Osun State licensing office and we do a transfer through letter. Through an administrative procedure. PS we have to write them, and then through the licensing office and through the court. The court will issue an order that such a child should be transferred back to the state. If it is another country, we have such issues.
Wow.
Recently, we transferred a child. He was actually found on the street. The child was first taken to a special correctional center, but after the initial interview, and we found the child couldn't even speak English. The child couldn't speak any other language other than French. So we got an interpreter, and we were communicating with him in French. From there, the child even had to be taken to Abuja, because it is Abuja that they have the embassy.
Wow.
So the permanent secretary had to write, and a social worker had to take the child to Abuja, to the embassy, and from there the child was repatriated back to his country.
On a lighter note, I just hope it was not one of us that was trying to jackpot. Well, but of course, that's amazing. That is amazing. Now, talking about, you talked about reintegrating. Are there any rehabilitation programs, talking about these children that, I know you mentioned vocational skills and all that. Let's talk a bit about the programs that are in place to help the children reintegrate, and empower them, so to say.
Yes, we have many vocation programs in almost all our centers.
Both the special and
the correctional centers.
Okay.
We have vocational programs in place.
Okay.
We have tailoring workshops. They are fully equipped. We have shoemaking in the girls session. In fact, at the special correctional center, we have photography.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we have photography studio or units. We have tailoring.
Wow.
And we have barbing.
Oh, interesting.
Barbing session. And at the girls, we have a salon, hairdressing salon. We have a session that they teach them how to tie gele, how to make adire.
Interesting.
And so many vocations.
You have people that come to teach them, or do you have people?
We have instructors.
Instructors, okay.
We have instructors that are resident, or they come from outside. They are being paid by the government.
Wow.
Some are in the employment of the government, and sometimes we have some friends of the home that do come to do charity. They teach them. Sometimes they do exhibition.
Wow, interesting.
Where, people from the society, they come in to buy some of the stuff that they make.
That's interesting. Okay, so Mrs. Adekola, now we've just talked about programs put in place, for rehabilitation and all that. But for the elderly, I know vocational skills might not be a thing. How do you engage them? For the elderly?
Basically, for the elderly,
we
have activities for them also.
Okay.
For spiritual activities, we have churches that come, to take them on their spirituality once in a while.
Okay.
During the week, we have timetables for them. Then for the to keep them busy, we have people that come once in a while. There's the time we have a lecturer from UNILAG that comes, takes them in artwork. They have beautiful drawings, There was a time even one of the drawings from the older adults was used in making T-shirts for them. Okay. Sometimes, during last year that we had International Day of People Living with Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And we have for their exercise, we have a physiotherapist that comes once in a while. under those that were employed by the Lagos State government.
Okay.
They come, they take them in exercises. Then once in a while, we listen to old music.
Okay.
To unwind. Put our chairs out.
Something they can relate.
We dance. They can relate with their old age.
Yes.
We listen to Sunny, different musics.
Interesting.
Then we do go out to the park once in a while. Yes.
For some fresh air.
Yes,
and
we
all
go
that.
to the park.
Okay.
Yes.
I see you mentioned that you also have visits. When we were talking of air, you said people come in to visit and all that.
Yes, people come to visit, but anybody that is coming to visit, they have to write a letter to the permanent secretary.
Okay.
To seek our permission. We have people once in a while they come to celebrate landmark birthdays.
Okay.
Where we have chairs, we dance, they bring one-man band. So the elders, they have swell time, they enjoy themselves at the home.
Mr. Yakwo, is there any duration now for the children in the correctional center? Is there a duration, or is it a judge or whoever gives how does this work? Educate us.
Like my Mrs. Olare said.
Yes.
He said, for any child to come into the facility,
yes,
there must be an appropriate court order.
Because I know she mentioned that you have people going from the juniors to the senior. Yes. I don't know, how does that work?
Most of them are actually awaiting trials.
Okay.
They have to, it's the court that determines when they come in, and they also determine when they exit, especially for children in conflict with the law.
Yeah.
But the nature of crime, that's what determines how long they stay.
Yes.
But for other categories like beyond parental control, there's what we call, when immediately they come in, we have to draw up their exit plan.
Okay.
The court will have given the period probably for 3 months corrective order, or 6 months, or 9 months as the case may be.
Okay.
So you will not work within this duration of time given to you by the court to determine how well the child is able to adjust behaviorally. Some of them within 3 months they are okay and they are fit for release.
So you do evaluation, so to say.
Yeah, we call it social inquiry and assessment.
Okay.
We also have to assess. Every day once they come in, they have their files, individual files. So they are being monitored. They are assigned to a social worker. A counselor too is also attached. So they assess. Everybody will work on the child to ensure that it gets better. So within 3 months, we send report back to the court that the child you sent to us at so time is now doing well and is fit for release. Where it's not fit for release, we also write the report to the court, and court will now do what we call extension of care order. So they will have to extend it not until when the child is fit for release. So it's the court that determines but based on the report of social worker in most cases. Okay,
so I'll be throwing this question to the three of you. What challenges does this unit face? What are the challenges you face in providing care and support to your beneficiaries, so to say? Well, I'll start with you, Mrs. Olare.
Well, I'd like to appreciate the Lagos State government.
First of all, yeah.
Through Mr. Governor.
Indeed.
We are really trying in Lagos State. We are the model.
Indeed, just like we were discussing
of excellence. So we are doing a lot. But I believe we also request for more.
That's beautiful.
It can be better, but we are doing well. The governor is, through the theme, the theme plus agenda, for social inclusion. No one has been left behind. We even have schools in our centers. We have primary schools for the closed centers. All our special centers are closed centers.
So when you say closed centers, what do you mean?
The children cannot
go out. Okay.
They are only free to move within the center.
Okay.
But all the other centers, they can actually go to school outside.
Okay, like the children's center?
Yes,
the one in the
children's center, they are still underage, 6 to 10.
Okay.
They have schools.
Okay. Within the.
In fact, there are some of them they go to school outside.
Okay.
Some that are special. We have a particular child, visual impaired.
Okay.
Is in a school at Odaolu.
Okay.
So he goes and comes.
Okay.
Yes, and the other correctional centers. We even have some of our senior boys in the university.
Wow.
Presently we have one at the Babcock University. We have one at University of Ibadan.
Interesting.
We even have one outside Nigeria.
So already you're talking about, you're giving us success stories. These are the success stories.
Currently on scholarship.
Yeah.
So, but it can still be better.
It can be better. Okay, Mr. Yapo, anything to add to that?
Yeah, for us at the Special Correction Center, by virtue of my experience over time, I realized that most of these children are not actually the problem. It has to do with poor parenting. The foundation. Most times when you see parents, they come to visit their children. Once they see the environment, oh, your fence is tall, your compound is neat, you eat 3 times a day. Before you know it, they disappear. They don't come again. In fact, they will just put, after leaving the center, they will put a call to me. Principal, you are doing so well. So my side has never stayed this long at home. If please let him be there. I may not call. You have to come. You have to go back to court to get another, to compel them to come and visit their children. We're not asking them for money. Just visit them because it's part of healing. When you see your parents coming forward, that means they see hope. They have not lost hope totally in you. So we need parenting. It's actually a problem. It's the government.
Yes,
it's the government. So I know that we're also doing a lot in the area of parenting. So more can be done. We need to have parenting classes for most of these people.
Yes,
even if it has to be done within different localities. Local government can also assist in this area.
Okay. This is Adekola.